So I hope you guys are doing well. And yes, it's been long since I created something, and it's quite difficult when you're just sitting at home, not going outside. Okay, so when I was getting a little bit creative, thinking what do I post next, I thought of posting something that I usually don't, and that's talking about my opinions. Anyways, uh, so I'll be talking about a very particular book that I was reading, which I surprisingly finished, right? I usually take a lot of time to be able to finish a book, and my friends can finish it within 2 to 3 hours, right? So this it's about this, right? The book is When You're Ready, This Is How You Heal. I talk about my perspective on what I understand about healing and just a little bit of uh, you know eh, what I think about it. So healing be in multiple phases. So there is physical, mental, spiritual, and when you are trying to heal one way or the other, I feel that it is going to be interconnected, right? Once you start having a better lifestyle, start caring about yourself physically and mentally, you automatically become a little bit more spiritual, or having a sacred space, be able to be yourself and be like, what, a little bit light. That's what I think, right? And our generation, especially when we talk about healing, it's a lot to do with mental and spiritual healing. Physical, well, people do so regardless of being healed mentally or spiritually, right? So I would divide this into a few different subtopics on my understanding of healing, right? So I think healing is more of a journey and not a goal, right? Because I feel that the misconception of healing is that once you heal, it's utopic in nature, that there are no problems, there's nothing bad going to happen, or nothing bad that can happen. But I feel that the journey of healing itself will have a lot of ups and downs. There'll be a lot of frustration that, I'm not able to reach that goal, or I'm not able to feel how I wanted to feel, and it is not working out, right? So it is not utopic in nature, but I feel that it is a aligned chaos, right? So when you have healed, okay, this is going to happen to me, or this is the way it's going, and I know how to process it, right? And that sounds easy, and it is easier said than done. But once you know that, life is coming from you, not at you, and it takes some time to learn that, right? So yeah, second one is, this book talks about 101 essays and situations, like if you feel this way, this is how you go about it, and if you feel this, do this, and if a person is this, do that, right? And I feel that that is where the problem begins, right? Where you are told what to do and how to do, because I think everybody has a different perspective of what trauma and healing is, and the process of healing, right? Some people don't get as affected by situation as other person does, and at times, sometimes you feel that you're a little bit too oversensitive, or you're overreacting to things, and then you feel that, okay, I am probably the problem, and I'm overthinking this, right? I shouldn't be overthinking this. Or some people just say it's just life, just get over with. So I think that is where the problem begins, right? Because when I give you one line, or somebody says one line, it can be misinterpreted interpreted in many ways, or can be understood in many ways, right? And yeah, healing is a form of art, and it takes an individual to understand how much and how far I have healed. And it's something that, yes, should be celebrated. You're healing, you have taken a step to be like, okay, I will be a better self. Yeah, I will be a better version of myself, and I am able to make a change and be able to retrack myself into some practices that I didn't think or I shouldn't be doing, right? So that's one thing, that healing yourself in the process will create a lot of frustration, right? It isn't how we have pictured, like, oh my god, I'm healed now, I have no problems, I will not feel anger, I'll not be frustrated or anybody. No. uh, we are humans, we have emotions, and that's how emotions work. You're going to feel things when things are not going your way, and that's okay, right? um, what I tell to my friends usually when they say, oh, I'm feeling down, I'm feeling this, and I don't know how to react, I'm like, why are you asking me how would I react, or how would you react? What I say then is, listen, first things, you need to understand that these are your feelings, right? They're genuine feelings, and nobody else can feel it for you. And if you are invalidating them, you're invalidating yourself, right? And I feel that people need to understand that it is your emotions, nobody else is going to feel it for you, nobody else can take it from you. And when you start realizing that you need to start accepting it, right, and validating them, then the second process is, how would I want to react to these feelings? That is where you need to stop and start rethinking about things, because those are your feelings, those are genuine feelings. So when you start overthinking and or overreacting, that you feel that I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have that, you're not thinking about the feelings, you're thinking about the way you reacted, right? So you're getting frustrated, you're getting angry because of something in the past, not because of how you were feeling, but how you reacted. And those are two different complete things, two complete different things that I feel people need to understand and you know have a relook into it. And yeah, see, healing can be different for different people. Some people might be healing from a toxic relationship, some people might be healing from a physical trauma, some might be healing from a spiritual journey. They said, okay, probably this isn't way it's working, I got to try some other things out. Some are just healing for themselves, like to make themselves feel better, and some are healing for generational trauma, that I don't want to pass it on. And I feel we're in a generation where we take health, and especially mental health, to a great importance, right? Where we don't undermine it, we don't say, you know you're just overthinking too much, there's nothing called as mental health, and move on, right? So I think that it is a burden, but also a great gift, that we are able to understand what mental health is, and trying to take a step back, sit down and analyze, okay, this is what is happening to me, and how do I want to go about it, right? And that's why I personally think that healing in our terms will be like, let's manifest and let's heal, like, in a snap. Like, I'm going to change these practices and I'll be better. No. Even though you change your practices, be it physically, mentally, or spiritually, unless and until you're true to yourself or true to the purpose that this is what exactly I want, and not because you're influenced, it won't happen. If you just see somebody be like, oh, I have healed myself, you too should do it, this is the process, I did it, you try it out, see how it feels. No. If you have you've done healing under somebody else's pressure, or in the need that, oh, I have to heal it because it is a trend or because I need it to, it's not going to happen, right? There is a lot of uh, work that needs to be done on yourself before you start healing. You need to understand your body, your emotions, your mental health, right? And say on what position you are right now to be able to change your things. Because in this book it says that, um, just don't value the people that don't value you, let them go. And a lot of us find a lot of struggle in doing that. A lot of us cannot just let people go off, even though they may not seem the best of our interest. And that's what a lot of things that people say, like, let them go, be the best version of yourself, just go to the gym, read a book, write down diaries. It's a commitment, right? And doesn't mean that if it works for them, it'll work for you as well. You need to understand yourself. Some people go out for walk, some people listen to your favorite music, some people produce music, some people play guitars, some people play video games, right? So you have create a safe space for yourself to go back and feel yourself. But this safe space isn't an escape. You can't just sit there around and be like, okay, this is where I feel myself and this is where I'm going to stay. No, it should be more like, okay, this is a place where I can think, where I can be myself, but there's a whole world waiting out there. And how do I respond to it, how do I react to it, will affect me and others, right? Most importantly, you. But that's how I would go about it. So when you talk about healing, understand that it is not a goal, it is a way of living, it is going to be a journey. Things may not go the best way, but you know that you have got this, and you are validating yourself. So yeah, I hope you liked it, my philosophical version of myself. But yes, do let me know if what are your thoughts on healing, or have you done any sort of manifestation and it has worked, or how do you go about it, and how do you find your safe space. So if you stayed through this long, do like, comment and subscribe.